So I've been thinking a lot about how our personal, our country, or at least how our communities view meat consumption. And I feel that over time and over all of these years, we're raised and taught, and in a way brainwashed, we're conditioned to be so desensitized and so used to meat consumption, dairy consumption, drink calcium, drink milk because it's good for your bones and you need the calcium. It's the only way you can get it. That's why you need to drink milk. You need to eat eggs, you need to eat cheese, you need to eat this, you need to eat that, you need to eat fish, you can eat meat, you need to eat this for iron and protein. Oh, that's a good one, protein. When in reality, it's just so falsified, it's such BS, it's ridiculous. You don't need any of these things to survive. You don't need any of these. Why do we need to drink the milk from another species when it's intended for another? Not only is it for another species, but it's for baby calves. That doesn't make any sense. Why are we the only people, virtually almost the only people in the entire world who drink milk into adulthood? That doesn't make any sense. Why do we don't need milk. There's no need for it. And when you subsidize the hell out of meat, especially in the United States, of course it's going to be so cheap. In other countries, so many people are vegetarian because meat and beef, for example, that's a luxury in other countries. In this country, it's like an everyday thing that you eat all the time, and it's sickening. It's so horrible for your health. The way, even if you were to argue that meat consumption is okay, and the doses and the amounts and quantities we consume them is absolutely disgusting. It's so horrible for our health, so horrible for our society, and in turn, it's damaging in so many ways. It's damaging psychologically, it's damaging to the economy, it's damaging to our health, our future, our youth. Over 60% of our country is overweight or obese. And I think that's just horrible. It's selfish. It's selfish that we're not letting our youth have an opportunity to be the best, in the best possible health they can be. And of course, there are plenty of fundamental factors that go into this, and so many complex things that go into, being healthy and in shape. The sugar and the artificial crap that we eat, all the different GMOs and hormones that we consume, not just meat, and not to mention all the cholesterol and saturated fat that we consume, and how it clogs our arteries and are just horrible things to our digestive system and digestive tracts. Of course, you can argue that it's not just this, but that's not justified. You might say, well, it's not just that we eat so much meat or we eat so much animal products. That's true, but it doesn't justify what we're doing. And what we're doing is sick. It's horrible. It's horrible for the long term, and it's horrible for our health. I can't stress this enough. It really is atrocious. And even if you were to argue, we're omnivores and we can consume meat, well, that's fine and dandy. It's possible. But we strongly abuse this power that we have. We strongly abuse other species. We take so much advantage of other species. And for what? What do we fundamentally get out of this? We need to ask ourselves this. Do the benefits economically, socially, and health-wise, overall, do the benefits outweigh the cost? All the negative consequences that we have? I don't think so. And I'm willing for someone to argue otherwise. And of course, there are these arguments that we are doing this in a humane manner, and it is absolutely fine for us to slaughter animals billions a year because it's so humane. Well, I've never heard of that. Have you ever heard of a humane, I might sound redundant, but have you ever heard of humane murder, humane slaughter, humane holocaust, humane death and destruction? There's nothing humane about this. It's absolutely disgusting for both us and other species of animals. It's absolutely disgusting that we are forcing our kids into this kind of system. We are not giving our kids an opportunity to be the healthiest possible people that they can be in this world. And I think that's absolutely horrible. And I think we really need to do something about this. And I just despise people's laziness when it pertains to this overall subject matter. I mean, it's just horrible. Why people, I mean, there's so many people that I know, they are aware of what's happening, but they don't want to take action. They don't want to change their lifestyles. They make excuses. We are a society filled with excuses, and it needs to stop, or at least be reduced greatly, or else we are going to continue on this horrible path. We really need to do something about this. And statistically speaking, cancer rates are up by 2,000%, as well as, obesity rates, which, obesity, the fact that that even exists is absolutely ridiculous. I mean, there are people who can't even survive without food, and there are people on the other side of the world that are dying every day, but, by at least 25,000 every single day. And we have eating contests, and we have obesity, and we have people going to clinics and hospitals because, they have extreme medical conditions that they just shouldn't exist. These things are just so surreal. These things are just so out of this world. Like, the fact that obesity exists is just astonishing. We really need to get a grip on this, and we can't just say, oh, let's put a tax on soda, or let's do this and a little here. No, we need to take this head on and do something about this, because if we don't, then I don't know what's going to happen. We don't know what's going to happen. It's just going to get worse, and it's going to escalate. Another very common argument of us pertaining when it comes to, we're omnivores. Even if that's the case, it is very true that we did eat meat in order to survive, long ice ages, and just overall, it helped us. I guess you can argue it evolve. Even if it helped us evolve into a species and even just survive, even if that's the case, it wasn't on a grand scale where we're so freaking lazy that a bunch of us can't even walk because we're so damn fat. At least back in the days of, survival of the fittest, or whatever you want to refer to specifically, whatever time period, at least we had to hunt and get off of our asses to get food. At least we had to actually go and be productive to survive. Whereas we're handed food every day on a silver platter, and it's just horrible for us. This is not stuff we should be having every single damn day. I mean, obviously, since I'm vegan, I want people to not eat meat at all, but at least for the love of everything that's sacred, have it in moderation, because it's absolutely sickening. We're meant to be mostly herbivores, first of all. Our digestive system is not designed for this. The human body can't sustain this kind of abuse. All this fat, all this cholesterol, all this animal protein, or animal molecules and fat, we can't process it on a regular basis. It's absolutely horrible for us, and we need to eat more fruits and vegetables. I know it sounds cliche and like BS, but it really is true. We do need to eat more carbs, more fruits and vegetables. And if we, again with the omnivore argument, we weren't murdering animals on such a mass scale where it's 30 million a month, probably even more every year, up to amounting in the billions. I mean, that's just absolutely outrageous. That's ridiculous. That's like something you would see in a really bad comedy sketch or something. I mean, come on. Why? Just ask yourself, why do we do this? Because it tastes good. Because it makes us feel good in the short term. Well, you're not going to feel so good when you're overweight and you're feeling like crap, and you're just overall a really negative person overall if you continue to do this. And going back to eating in moderation, I want to touch upon that. We have lost the sense of moderation. We don't know what moderation is. You know, one time let me have a little bit this, a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more. And our greed and our mind, we lose our mind. We take ourselves over in a way. We don't have any control of ourselves, and it's horrible. We always have this horrible misconception of moderation where it's, I'm going to have a little bit more of this and a little more of that. And what we don't realize is that it adds on. It adds on gradually over time. You know, let me have some of this chicken. Let me have some of this whatever else. Let me have some of this. It adds on. And considering that most people in our country are so unproductive and inactive, you know, obviously we're not burning that many calories, and we need... That's another thing, you know, getting more active, that's very important, but what's even just as important, or arguably more so, is what we put into our bodies. Do you really know what you're putting into your body? I mean, do you really? Can you definitively tell me what you're eating? If you can't, then maybe you should reconsider what you eat. And I know I might come off a little strong here, but it's just something I'm very passionate about, and it's something that's a very serious issue. And animal product consumption overall contributes greatly. I mean, just imagine this. Do you think we would have all of these problems if everyone in fast food, or everything that everyone ate was fruits and rice and vegetables? Do you think we would have all of these serious economical, health, medical, and all these other social problems? Do you really think that would happen? I doubt it.